Hey guys, it's Justin.
Enjoy.
And we have another incredible episode in store for you today.
I'm so excited to have my best friend Lauree on the show to tell her story.
And it's a story you don't want to miss. 10 years ago, she was in the deepest, darkest despair after going through divorce. In 10 years, she's living her best life. You want to hear the details, and you don't want to miss this one.
Real, raw, and uncut. Like, there is no sugarcoating. We're real about it. If you're real people, message us. Real, raw, and uncut.
What's up, guys? It's Justin.
Enjoy.
Are you sure you're there?
Yeah, I'm here.
She's here. And we're excited to be back with you here for another episode of Real, Raw, and Uncut. And we have an incredible guest and friend in the studio. And let me just tell you just a little bit about this friend and guest. You know, it's when somebody comes into your life kind of like unexpected a little bit and really just brings so much value and so much joy into your life and change and makes your world better. And that would be you, Lauree.
Yes.
Wow.
Major changes.
Major.
Thank you.
So glad you're here.
Thank you. I feel the same though. So I think it's a two-way street for sure.
Yeah, a lot to talk about today. But, you know, the one thing that I'll say about Lauree is her and Joy are crazy together, honestly.
Say what?
These two are, if you're ever around Joy and Lauree together, you will definitely be laughing.
I mean, I say it. I swear my mom had another kid and didn't tell me who the dad was. And I think it was Lauree, sister from another mister.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm your blonde sister.
But no, we're excited to have you today.
Thank you.
I want to just open by kind of sharing the story of how we, I think, got connected even further, because our kids went to the same school. Mm-hmm. Yep, Northville Christian. And that's kind of how we met. And I would say when we back then, before we really started to get to know each other, I think we were more of acquaintances, right?
Yes.
More like, hey, we know each other.
We don't know each other. She was the track coach, but I didn't know the coaches. I just was showing up in the cold and the rain, watching Tiara run.
Right.
Yep. But what's interesting is I love how this all plays out, because, you know, and I don't know if I've ever told the story on the podcast, but
I think you have.
I don't think I
did.
did.
And if not, you've told it at every tour.
I've told it at every tour, and I've shared it because it's powerful. And so, you know, obviously for those of you that listen on a regular basis, Joy and I are in real estate. And, you know, for those of you guys that have never listened to us, you get to hear the story for the first time.
Grab the popcorn.
Yeah, grab
That's right.
Yep. And I love popcorn, by the way.
You do love
popcorn. But I remember back in 2020, I believe it was, 2021, I remember being in my real estate office, and God was really starting to challenge me just about my business and, you know, how we depend upon him in every aspect of our business. And I remember looking at the sales board on the wall, and it showed like all of my deals. And on the board, it says the source. So you put like, is it an expired? Is it a for sale by owner? Is it a Dave Ramsey lead or whatever? And I remember a lot of my deals being sourced for like deals coming in from other sources. And I had a moment, and it was kind of like, what would my business look like if all my sources went away, like overnight? And what's interesting was one of them did. It was the Dave Ramsey lead source, and he just out of nowhere kind of like cut ties with EXP real estate agents for no reason, never shared why. And that was like, that source alone was a 6-figure source of business, and it was gone basically overnight. And the Lord told me, as I was looking at the board, he said, I'm your source for business. And matter of fact, I'm your greatest referral source because I know everybody.
Amen.
And at that moment, you know, God really challenged me. And that day I had prayed a prayer, and I just said, Lord, when people think of real estate, let them think of me. Yeah. And this is kind of crazy because like, this is one of those God wink moments. Because remember, we were just reading a book. We've been doing this 40-day prayer challenge. And in the book, it talks about how a lot of times, you know, they call them God winks. And a God wink is basically where like you pray a specific prayer and like God answers it like right away. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was like quick.
That was definitely God winking.
Yeah. And so after I prayed this prayer and I just said, Lord, when people think of real estate, let them think of me. All of a sudden, like I get a text message from Lauree where she's like, oh my gosh, can you come over to my house today and list my house? She
I
said,
never texted you before.
yeah, no, had never texted me before. And matter of fact, you said, oh my gosh, you got a minute? Can I call you? And then, so I get on the phone and you're like, okay, yesterday I met with Jeff Glover, right? And you guys know who Jeff Glover is. I'm going to put part of Glover
Here we
U.
go.
Hi, Jeff.
And I was going to list my home with him. Matter of fact, you told him.
I actually shook his hand and I had him over and I gave him the business. He was my neighbor. He lived real close to me.
Yep.
And I thought, he's everywhere, the billboards, this, that, and everything. So I'm calling Jeff and he came over and we met and I was like, yeah, I'll let's do it. And Taylor sent me the paperwork.
See, I didn't know that part. Wow, you were like, like right there, ready to go.
Yes.
And then you went to sleep or tried to go to sleep.
I did.
And what happened?
I went to bed, tried, and all night I could not think about anything other than you, Justin Ford. And that sounds bad with his wife in the room, but it was don't list your house with anybody but Justin Ford. And I just couldn't get it out of my mind. And I thought, oh man, it's one of those things. And I've been in that position before where you're, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I woke up, same thing. And I thought, I'm not doing that because I shook Jeff's hand.
Yeah.
And integrity wise, I'm like, so I called Jeff and I said, Jeff, it's Lauree. He's like, hey, what's up? And I said, I really have to tell you something. And I told him, I said, I just have an impressed feeling on my heart that I am supposed to give this business to Justin and Joy Ford. And I said, but I will not do it unless you will release me from the agreement. Yeah. Because I gave you my word. Yeah. And that means a lot to me. But I said, I just have this feeling in my spirit that I am supposed to be giving them the business. And Jeff was amazing. He was like, immediately, it was absolutely, that's not a problem. There's enough business to go around. True professional. It was great. Yeah.
And then you called me and told me this whole story. Yeah. And we came over later that day. Yeah. That's when I met your dad for the first time.
For sure. Yeah.
And
my mom was still alive at the time.
Yeah.
She was
there. And your mom was there. Yep. And you literally signed the listing agreement that day.
I did.
And we listed your home. And I was blown away because I had just prayed that prayer. Lord, when people think of real estate, let them think of me. Yep. And God was speaking to you about listing it with me, and that really boosted my faith and really like it did several things. And so number one, obviously we started building a relationship with you. We helped you sell your house, which sold right away for well over the asking price.
Yes.
Then we helped you buy a house. Yep. Then you got your real estate license.
Yes. Then I bought another one.
Then you bought another one. And really you and Joy became best friends.
Sure did.
Which is incredible. But there was one more thing that happened is because of my faith and what you had, God had used you to do, is I took it to another group of real estate agents and I started a prayer call. This was several years ago. And the preface of that prayer call is to encourage real estate agents that no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard business is right now, no matter, what source of business you have or not, to remind them that God is their true source of business. And to really pray that prayer when people think of real estate, let them think of me. And then all of a sudden, all of these people started getting these same occurrences happening. Maybe not the exact same way, but oh my gosh, I just got a call and somebody said, God told me to call you to sell my house. Wow. And now 3 years later, we still do this prayer call every single day.
That's amazing.
Real estate agents all over the country.
I get the ads for the prayer call, but you're doing it at 7 a.m. I'm not sure.
It's early. It's early. But what's cool is, and so much has come out of that. For those of you guys that have been tracking my journey and Joy's journey of running,
oh Lord,
it all started with this lady right here.
Right here. Accountability to the max.
When I met your wife, I was wanting to run. I was working out all the time. I've run 14 marathons. And she's like, girl, we are going to be friends, but I don't run and I eat tacos.
And I like yoga. I only like yoga.
So sure enough, I was like, oh no, this girl's going to run. And we were in Las Olas.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, we
remember?
Were. Yep.
And I said, I'm going for a run and you're going with me. And you're like, I don't run.
I was like, Lauree, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to get back home to my babies. We got to go really slow. You're roll as slow as you need.
Yeah, I didn't care. We went as slow. We actually stopped midway and shopped. So that's how slow we went. We were running downtown Las Olas, and there was some cute stores, so we actually stopped.
We went in
so
there.
I made it fun. I lured you in.
You did.
With some fun, but I will just say that, I mean, I appreciate that, but the real work was you guys. You know, I mean, it's easy to encourage other people, but you guys, I mean, it's the physical transformation is astounding.
Yeah.
So you guys need to start posting some photos. I was looking when we were at the football game.
Yeah.
And how different.
Oh, yeah. The Michigan game?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because that was the start of the journey.
She
really.
looked like
I
a
know.
chipmunk back
I look
then.
like a big sugary donut. That's
Like
because I love the donuts.
Like a graham cracker. You know, like that bear on the graham crackers?
The Teddy Graham.
Teddy
Yeah,
Graham.
Teddy Graham.
I just want to be your Teddy Graham. Do you remember those commercials? You're
No,
probably
I think
too
I was
little.
2.
You were probably 2. I know. You know, we're about to be 90. I don't know if people know this about us.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 50 in April.
Enjoy.
Just turned 40.
Just turned 40.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So, yeah,
yeah.
we're going to be 90.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yes, the journey of fitness, that's a good thing. And you guys have done amazing.
And what's amazing was is you didn't just tell her to like go run down the street with you. It was actually a 3-mile run. And I remember when Joy called me, like, I just ran 3 miles with Lauree.
I know.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I said, I got to get Justin.
Yeah.
And you know what? I used to run though, back
You
in
did.
the day,
Yep.
on and off, but it was FOMO kind of like, because I used to hate running.
Yeah.
I used to hate it. And then, but I thought it was like, okay, cool. Joy just kind of went for a run. And then when she came home, and then you came over on Christmas morning that
That's
morning, and we
right.
ran out in the snow together.
60 degrees.
That's right.
And we went around my neighborhood once, and I'm like, I'm done. You guys are like, oh no, we're going to keep going.
Got to go again. Yeah.
But then you kept going
We
like
did.
every single day.
Yep.
And then, you know, I saw the changes happening in her, and I'm just like, I can't just sit back and let these girls outperform me. I gotta start running too. But you're the reason, you know, why that transformation started to take place. So thank you.
Oh, well, you're
Yes,
welcome.
thank
But
you.
thank you.
Appreciate you.
It's definitely been a relationship that has poured into me as well. So we're really thankful. We have a lot to be thankful for.
It's been awesome. And
I'm
so
sure.
just to tell little people about you, and obviously you can share, like you come from a very successful family. You guys have been able to create a pretty incredible business.
Yes.
And you wouldn't know it because it's not like you walk around like telling everybody
Hooty tooty. Snooty moody.
It's not like that at all. But
No.
you know, you've grown up in a successful home. You've created success. You have 3 incredible sons who are amazing, right?
They are. I'm the mama, but I will take any moment to say that those 3 are awesome.
Yeah, no, you've done an incredible job. And I know that, you know, it's really encouraged us, you know, to see how you've raised your sons and standards you've put in, and just the way that you've raised them has really encouraged us on how to, you know, raise our kids, because we didn't really come from a background where people showed us how to do it. And I don't ever know if there's a right way to do it,
Right.
but you learn as you go.
Right.
And even despite challenges that you've had, you've been able to still co-parent with your
Correct.
ex-husband
Yes.
to raise 3 incredible young men,
Thank
2 in
you.
college, 1 on the way, incredible
Yes.
golfers,
Wait,
athletes.
one on the way. Wait, let's clarify.
No.
There's no extra baby
The
coming
one on the way to
Yeah,
college.
no, I'm almost 50.
Sorry,
I'm
one
almost
on the,
50.
2 in college, 1 on the way to college.
A miracle.
That's what I meant to
That's
say.
what you,
A
that's what, we knew what you
Not
said.
one
but
on
I was
the
like,
way.
oh wait,
That
I
could've
can't
been-
make
that
people
could've-
think she's expecting.
That could have been taken. That could have been taken.
You're
that way,
right.
So.
So,
Do I need to stand up? I
Laurie's-
got a belt on.
Yeah, Laurie's she's not pregnant.
No.
2 sons in college, 1 on the way to
not in
college,
here.
and have just been
Yes.
done an incredible job. And
Thank you.
yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about you, Lauree. So
All right.
So
Well, apparently I'm awesome. I need to
you
just come on this show.
You definitely are.
I mean, this is good for the ego.
Yeah, no, you definitely are. And I know Joy, you know, I normally lead these, but I'm gonna let you kind of.
no, I'm not. I don't need to leave.
Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted
And
to
not say
just
leave,
tell her
but-
story. I wanted Lauree
Yeah,
to
like
come
you
on.
guys
I
can-
need. I
but
want
go
people
ahead.
need to hear your story. You know, just kind of where things have taken off and how you've co-parented with your ex very well, and how there's been healing in your home. So
For
if
sure.
you can kind of just kind of
For sure.
you know.
Yes. All right. So we just mentioned I have 3 amazing sons.
Yep.
Ben is my oldest. He's 20.
Smart as can
And
be.
Yes, he is. He's very, very smart, very driven, typical firstborn. And Josh is my middle son. He will be 19 coming up here in April. And he's amazing as well. Super fun. Just, they're all so different. He's second in command there.
In the middle.
His birth order is amazing.
It is.
I'm fascinated by that.
Yep.
And then Sam, he's the baby, but he'll be 18 in July. So those boys are a year apart.
Wow.
And it was, chaos for a while there. But it was fun. Tiring. Those years were tiring, but very, very fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, Jamie is my ex-husband. He's the boy's father, and he's incredible. So I am very thankful to have had children with him and the family that we have.
Yeah.
We did not stay married.
Yeah.
So that comes with its own set of sorrow and trauma that would hit a family.
Yeah.
So we went through that process.
Yeah.
And just like anybody else, it's not an easy road.
Right.
Some roads are harder than others.
Right.
So you do have to bear in mind that each circumstance is different.
Yeah.
But I will say we've been divorced 10 years.
10 years.
And so the boys were young.
Yeah.
And through this process, we were able pretty early on to understand that the business still needed to thrive.
Right.
And that's what I like to think about. And I talked with Jamie early on, and I said, if we had a business, because I come from a family business,
Right.
To be successful, we wouldn't throw away our business.
Right.
And your kids are the most important thing that we could ever do.
Right.
So there was no way that we were going to throw that away.
Because so many people, and this is what I love, and even have you touch on this, is like so many people go through divorce and it's just ugly, right? One of the spouses is constantly attacking the other.
Correct.
Sometimes both. One parent is, telling the kids how bad the other spouse is, and it's just a nightmare.
Right.
And you guys made a decision that just wasn't going to be like that. And you're starting to see more of this co-parenting term where people, they split up, they divorce, but they, like you just said, they make a decision. We are going to do what's best for our kids.
Correct.
And we're going to be civil.
Right. Now, we had a hot minute where we were not perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm not going to be on here all acting like, I was doing the right thing, because I have myself a big mouth. So I will take the blame for most of that. But once I learned to close my mouth, it did get a lot better. But it would not have been without the grace of God.
Yeah.
We are a family of faith.
Yeah.
And if we were not able to die to ourselves.
Right.
And that once that started to happen, I started to see change within us.
Yeah.
And the boys have been better for it.
Yeah.
We've been able to do, like you said, co-parent, but not just that. We've been able to have fun together. We've been able to move through life and enjoy the experiences. And it's not just been this stale, okay, we can get along. We also chose to, why don't you enjoy this life?
Yeah.
And you can, it's not like it's an easy recipe.
Right.
But if you can really learn to control yourself, then not worry about what the other person is doing, you will start to see change.
Yeah.
And it's about working on yourself. What is my part in this?
Yep.
It's not what did the other person do, or wanting your side of the story told. In the very beginning, I wanted everybody to know my side.
Right.
That was important to me.
Because you felt like you had to defend yourself.
Correct. Right. And we all have a journey. We all have a story to tell.
Yep.
First of all, nobody cares about your story.
Right. Exactly.
Like when I sat back and found out how many people did not even care.
Right.
Right.
It's eye-opening, and it also, last weekend kind of touched on this for me, in particular, when Pastor Pete was talking about the withered hand.
Yeah, that was so good.
It
the
was
community of the withered hand.
Yep. Yes, and how we all have shame. And oftentimes it's our shame where we are asked to grow the most.
Right.
And we want to hide it. That's what shame is.
Right.
But I don't believe in a God of guilt and shame.
Right.
Right. And my mom used to say to me when I was little, she used to say, don't look back, you're not going that way.
Yeah.
And she'd write little notes and cards and things like that. That's hard when you've failed.
Yep.
It's really hard when you've made mistakes, when the stakes are high, when you've hurt your children,
right,
who you love more than your own life.
Right.
That's hard.
Yeah.
But with God's help and with mental health, you can be strong enough to do it. And that's the other part I think was a big key to our success was Jamie and I always put successful thoughts into our sons.
Yeah.
When we were young, I got a lot of this from my own dad who started our business. We would ride to school and we would listen to Jim Rohn.
Yep.
We would listen to Robert Kiyosaki. Zig Ziglar. So we'd have all these success things. And one of our Jim Rohn one that was favorite was how to set your sail. That the same wind blows on us all. But the difference is how you set your sail. And so those kids would jump out of my SUV and I'd yell at them, set your sail, set your sail. And I have really seen it just through their personal lives, through their athletics. I have seen kids on a golf course in a tournament where they are just, defeated. Yeah. But their mental toughness has brought them through. Yeah. We also, I'm going to shout out family therapy. That was, a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people shy away from it.
Because of shame, right?
Because of shame.
It's like, if I go to therapy, then I'm admitting that we have issues.
Yes.
Right.
Knowing that you have a ton of issues. So you might as well go get them. You might as well go get work on them versus just,
Yes. And I also found that, finding authentic friends like you guys. Yeah. And that's truly, I think, the magic with your wife, with Joy and I, is I will tear up saying this. I have never had a friend that has not only accepted me for who I am, but who has encouraged me with a Christ-like faith. I mean, that girl can tell you when you're wrong.
Yeah, she can. She can.
But you need that.
Yeah.
You really need people in your life that you can have fun with and you can build a life with. But when you are doing the wrong thing, you need somebody to say to you, hey, no.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
That's stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And
who you can be yourself, right? You don't have to pretend.
What you say. Stop that.
You don't have to hide. This is who you are.
Exactly.
It is important.
Yeah. So surrounding yourself with the right kind of friends, and all those little sayings are true. It's show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
But I would say the success mantra that we've had within our home, it didn't work right away when we first got divorced, like I said, but what's inside does come out.
Yeah.
So, and my dad used to say, what's in the dog's in the pup.
Yeah.
And so I do see it in our own children.
Yeah.
That as they're growing into young men, they have, my kids have grit.
Yeah, they do.
They do. My kids have a lot of grit.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with that, but it's been a humbling journey.
Yeah.
Pete also talked about how, the church community tends to love a story when someone starts out bad, they come from the projects. Do people still say that? I don't know.
Yeah.
It shows my age.
Or the gutter.
Yeah,
just hard times.
And then they find the Lord and, they're turning their life around.
Hallelujah.
And yes,
God.
amen. Yes, woohoo. But nobody really loves a story where you start out awesome and you maybe have a silver spoon in your mouth and you have this awesome background. And then you go jack your life up right in the middle.
Right.
And then you're trying to claw your way back to acceptance.
Right.
Not just within community, but, a religious community.
Right.
People shy away from that. Yeah. They don't like that. It's, it's an interesting, phenomena about people. They love an underdog story. Yeah. But it's hard to kind of get back when, your life has gotten off track. But I would say the thing I've learned from that is, who's for you, will be there for you.
Well, I like that you said that, because a lot of times, especially in the church and in faith, we are, we think that everything's supposed to be great. You're supposed to have just a great marriage. Your kids are supposed to be great. Life is going to be great. Yes. And that's just not how it is at all, right? I mean, not that you don't have times where things are great and things are great, but life is full of challenges.
Yes.
And,
mostly. Woody Allen said, most of the time I don't have much fun. The rest of the time I don't have any fun at all.
Right. Exactly.
It's not always awesome.
Right. I mean, but you guys have learned how to have some fun. It just kind of popped into my head real quick.
Too short.
Not to change the direction of the story, but I want you guys to tell the story of when you guys went to Chicago in a moving truck.
Oh, Lord. Wow.
Oh yeah, that was Lauree. Hey, there's a piece of furniture I need to get.
I think it was at like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was like one.
Random.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys flew there, right?
We did.
Right.
So I had
wonderful
sold
trip.
my house.
Yeah.
And then I bought another one that I was going to renovate.
Yep.
Tear down.
Yep.
And then that went sideways with the architect. So we rented that out. And then I was living in an apartment at 48.
It was a sweet apartment, actually.
It was pretty sick.
I liked it.
But yeah.
It was a jail. You said it looked like a
It did look like
prison.
a jail. Like it was.
Yeah, you look like you were driving into a prison.
Kind of did.
But it was a high class prison.
High class. But it looked, the way that it was built, and it was in a beautiful area.
Shall I show my ankle? I do not have a tether. I'm good.
But just the way that they built that, you'd have thought that maybe they would have just designed
like the
the
pool
outside.
was in the middle. Like, I don't know. But it was.
She needed furniture.
It was pricey. I needed furniture.
But Joy messages me. She's like, hey, I need to go to Chicago with Lauree. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, we're leaving in like an hour.
She goes, hey, can you go with me to go get this piece of furniture? Oh, sure. Where we got to go?
Actually, you booked them because I was driving
I
and I was like, book us a flight. There's a
Chicago,
flight. Whatever. And then we'll rent a
6 p.m.
U-Haul and we'll drive back.
It was 6 p.m. Got there like 7, whatever. It was kind of late.
And we packed our stuff. Like, I remember I packed
She was
lingerie, pajamas.
Because all her stuff was in boxes.
My stuff was all in boxes. I just had kind of this fancy pajama situation, and we were in the same hotel room.
It was our first time ever traveling together.
I come out of the bathroom. She was like,
it was shorts and a shirt, but it was like a summer pajama, and it was cold. And I'm like, why? I'm freezing. Why don't you have a sweater on?
I'm like, girl, this is all I can find.
That is so funny.
But we did. We got. We were getting a U-Haul to drive it home. We were in the back of that Uber, sitting on the highway.
Oh yeah,
and the store was going to close.
This is how two crazies get together and make a great time. We get into the Uber from the airport, and we're on the freeway. It's taking a long time.
Bumper to bumper.
And the freeways in Chicago are pretty busy.
Yeah, and we're waiting to get off the exit. I'm like, can you just go around on the side and just go past? Oh no, I cannot do that. I cannot get off. He didn't want to get in trouble. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So Lauree sees a hole in the fence. She goes,
fence, because there's a fence wall on the highway. And we're stopped, and I see a hole where I'm like, girl, we get out. We can crawl through there. Thank God you started running. I've been shoving your ass through there.
So we get out. The guy goes, we're like, oh, we're just
getting out.
We're going to get out. You're going to get out?
You can't get out. He's yelling at us. He's like, don't be getting out. He's like,
and
we get out, and we crawl through this because we saw the U-Haul dealer.
Yeah, we were like, it's right there. Why we had to get off, go right? We could just go right.
We knew we were close. And so we get out, and we crawl across the highway through the fence.
It was a neighborhood. It was a neighborhood in Chicago that had a U-Haul, like little box with a truck
right in the neighborhood.
In the driveway.
Yeah,
like
really
people.
Weird. It was like their business.
Yeah,
from their backyard.
They lived in the backyard, or they lived in the house.
Something. And when we got in that bad boy,
and she's about to turn it into a club. She's got this Mexican music going with like, I got a headache. I'm wanting like some easy listening. Lionel Richie. She's in there with the club.
I'm like, we got to go drive to figure out where we're going now. We got to go to. We had to head to IKEA by 9 o'clock or something.
Yeah, yeah, they were closing. Yeah. Oh,
it was hilarious actually.
And you guys drove the U-Haul all the way back to Michigan.
Yeah, we made a few stops too.
We did. Holland.
Yeah, we did.
Get another piece of furniture.
Yeah, we did.
In Chicago, we had she had her first experience having
Portillo's.
Elotes and like pepinos, like cute off the street. So she's at a red light.
Here you go, another that little white shot of stuff, and I thought it was alcohol. I don't drink. Yeah, and she's like, here, try this, and I'm like, I'm not drinking that.
I'm like, there's no alcohol. It's just a drink.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm not.
She wasn't sure.
I wasn't.
She's like, are you sure there's not tequila?
You jumped.
She's at a red light, and I'm like, hey, park in the. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get some snack. She goes, wait, I'm at a red light. I'm like, I'm gonna get out anyway. And
she jumps out. You're a big car jumper. I don't know. She jumps out. She runs over to this food truck. She's over there ordering her stuff,
some snacks.
Brings a spicy corn on a stick. I was like, what?
How did you eat that again? I forget.
What is this?
It was corn. Yeah.
Oh, Lotus is the best.
Yeah, I don't know.
She had me do the same thing. I'm like, corn on a stick.
Corn on a stick.
Spicy.
I grew up eating that in Chicago. My grandma would always go to the corner and get it. And
I'm going to segue again though to one of my other favorite stories about how we met and how you used to watch my boys walk home.
Oh yes,
from school.
So let me tell you, I'm new. We're new to
NCS?
Northville Christian School
and
in
no buses
Northville.
It's a private school.
Yeah, you drop your kids off.
Yep.
Brand new, 6th grade. Tiara's like crying to go to the school. I'm like, come on, just hack it. We're going to do good. It's gonna be great. Anyways, after being there for a while, I never met Lauree. I never seen her around. No. So I'm like, I'm new coming to school. I know no one. I don't know. I don't talk to anybody. I'm like, I don't want no drama. I'm just here to take my daughter.
And anyways, she meets me.
And then Well, after school, it's like a snow day, like a lot of snow.
Yeah.
And I pick up Tira and I'm like, Tira, those boys are walking home. Maybe we should give them a ride and like get them like, what if they're hungry? They're probably
also
cold.
little. They're not like 3. So let's just
they were 6, 7,
7, and 8.
Yes.
She said little boy.
Maybe even 7. It was just Sam and Ben wasn't there.
People
at the
are
time.
gonna listen to this and be like, she's knocked up, and she was leaving her 3-year-olds in the snow.
No, they were junior hires, to be honest. But it was cold, and one of them was wearing shorts in the winter, which something Judah would do.
Yep.
Dead winter, and it was cold, and I'm like, they gotta walk home like these kids. We can get them a ride, Tara. Like, we should probably take them home. No, Mom, it's okay. We don't have to, they're fine. They do it every day. They walk to school and walk home every day. They just go through the field and somewhere out that way. I don't know where.
Somewhere out that way.
I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe we should offer a ride. Maybe their mom's busy working like long hours. I don't know. Maybe
working 2 jobs. I'm not even working 1. Then we find out. She tells me this story later. I was like, no, we lived behind the school. Mm-hmm. I wasn't about to get in that pickup line. Right. All those parents in there. Just,
it is a long line.
Some of those people show up at noon. Did they bring a lunch? They cannot.
You're stuck there forever.
I'm like, what? I'm like, you're supposed to be out living your best life while they're in that school. You're coming back at 12:30 to get in line to be first. I don't want to be first.
I don't want to be first.
Yeah, she's all thinking I'm working single mom, 2 jobs. I'm home doing yoga.
Your second workout of the day. Coming to find not who you are. I'm like, oh, she does her second one at 3:30 or 4.
Yeah, you're about to give him a sandwich. So,
anyways,
yes,
well,
a lot of funny
this
stories.
This is what life looks like with Joy and Lauree. Honestly, it's
so if you want to ever jump out of a truck or a car, just come on along.
Or
we'll
eat
give you
corn on a stick.
Corn on a stick. It's true.
Tacos.
But
yes.
Going back to your story, obviously, there's people probably listening right now that might be struggling, right? Because it takes hard work to make a scenario work. There's probably people who are listening that have gone through a divorce, have maybe made some mistakes where they do carry that shame because sometimes, unless you're willing to work through that shame can really destroy you and really keep you from moving forward.
Hold you back.
If you go through divorce, you might not be, willing to trust somebody again. What would you say to the person that's listening or the people that are listening right now on how to encourage them, maybe where they are?
Well, that is a huge part of it because it's very serious. And I would say the first thing would be to be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to accept when there's rejection.
Right.
Whether you asked for it or not, it's still a very rejected feeling.
Right.
It feels like failure.
Yeah.
It feels like you're just down. And so my advice would be to surround yourself find a Bible-based church.
Yeah.
Faith, it's been just the main foundation of what helped our family.
Yeah.
So I would get into some sort of faith group that you can start to get a little traction.
Right.
I would then look at your friend group, like we said.
Yeah.
I think it's huge, the people that you allow into your life, because you're allowing them into your life, you're allowing them into your home. So I would look at that, and I would find yourself 1 or 2. Chances are you might have lost most of them anyways. And then you find out that happens. That people pick sides. Some people don't even know what to do, right? Because they don't want to choose sides. They're uncomfortable. So I would just say, see if you can weed that out and find 1 or 2 people that are trusted, that can really help you. I would get a mentor and therapy, that type of thing. I would definitely. And I would spend time with the kids. Yeah. When you have the time with the kids, obviously it splits up and it changes. Now in our situation, it did not have to be that way for long. We ended up getting on the same team, like we said, which was awesome. Yeah. And I would encourage anybody, you can live your best life still if you guys can get along. That is the best thing, because you don't miss out then. Right. Then you still have the time. It's not 50-50. You're back to 100%. Right. But when you are in that valley, the God of the valley is the God of the mountain. Yep. And I remember hearing one time, if the mountain was smooth, you couldn't climb it.
It's true.
And so, the other thing that's been very big for my family is routine. Yeah. especially when the kids are little. Routine is key. A lot of people complain and say, oh, well, they go to the one parent's house, then I got to, spend the next 6 days deprogramming. And that might be true, but fight that battle on your knees.
Right.
Do not try to get into every little thing that's being said or you're hearing that your ex might be saying. You're not responsible for what your ex is doing.
Right.
You're responsible for you.
Amen.
We are all going to die and we are all going to enter single file.
Yep.
Nobody gets to get up there and be like, yeah, but I did that because he did this and she did this and she said this. And you don't get to do that.
Right.
You have to answer for yourself.
Yep.
So mind your business, close your mouth,
Yep.
and find some good foundation that you can rebuild.
Yeah.
Because if you'll just stay in the rubble.
Yeah.
And you'll just be milling around there with nothing to do. And forgive yourself.
That's
Big.
Yeah, that's big.
And the sooner you can do that, acceptance is the key to that.
Yeah.
You have to accept what's happened and then forgive yourself.
Yeah.
And then, you'll start to see that you're doing the right thing. I had a pastor one year at Maranatha in the summer preach on something, and he said, you're flying over the right target if you're getting shot at.
Wow, that's good.
Wow. And so I really feel like these last 10 years, Jamie and I have definitely been flying over the right target. We've had a lot of people try to tear us down. A lot of people try to say, why are you forgiving her? Why'd you forgive him? What? Right. No. And I just really remember that, people will try to tear you down.
Yeah.
My grandma used to say, people would rather see you in hell than ahead of them.
Right.
A lot of people are not happy for you.
Right.
And that's what's awesome about our friendship is I want to, not just want to, I love to see you guys win. And I know you love to see me win.
Absolutely. That's
and
when you know it's a real friendship.
Yes. And we're trying to help each other win.
Right.
It's not just, that's awesome for you. It's we
not a competition.
Celebrate it.
Yeah.
No, you're just like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I saw you post a picture of Joy last night and I'm like, dang, you look fire. She looks so hot. I mean, don't take that the wrong way. But
she did.
She did. I mean, it's like you just want people to be happy, but also help you get there.
Yeah.
So that would be, the
that's
best
so
that I
good.
could
I love
say
that.
on that.
And one of the things that I love about where you guys are is Jamie remarried recently.
He did.
And you're engaged.
I am.
And you guys all hang out together.
They do. They celebrated New Year's going bowling. All of them.
We did. We
beautiful.
went bowling for New Year's Eve with Matt. I have another adopted side son who's he's not truly adopted, but Sam's been friends with him since 3rd grade. So shout out to Maddie. Love him very much as well. But so Jamie remarried in October to Colleen. So I will shout out to that. She's amazing. He is very, very lucky.
Yeah.
So that's been a big help to our family. It's awesome to have somebody else in the room that cares about your kids. And I'm engaged to Eric. And he's a great guy. And
Shout out to Eric.
It's interesting too, to the people that come alongside of a family that's blending. That's not easy.
Right.
It's not easy to watch this is important. It's not easy to watch the 2 original parents. I call it the first family.
Yeah.
I'm a huge believer in the foundation of the first family.
Yep.
And it's not always easy to make room for that. And so you have to have confident, secure, grounded people that truly have a good heart.
Yeah.
And Colleen said something interesting to me at my mom's memorial, her funeral, the day before when we were at the viewing, and she came in. And I pulled her aside and I said, hey, I just want to mention to you that I'm super thankful for the grace. Jamie was around helping a lot. Obviously, we were married for many years, so, he would have had a relationship with my mom.
Yep.
But he was a pallbearer at my mom's service. And I was thanking her for that because it meant a lot to me for my sons. And I wanted to acknowledge her grace because some people, when you get in these situations, jealousy creeps in. That's the enemy saying, well, why are they doing that? And she said something beautiful to me. She looked right at me and she said, Lauree, don't you think another thing about it? I know your heart.
Yeah.
And so when you can get a group of people that want to root for the home team, you're going to win.
That's huge.
That's good.
Yeah.
So good.
So it's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so if you're listening right now and maybe you've gone through some difficult times or you've experienced a divorce and maybe, having a hard time trying to co-parent and work it all out, there's hope, isn't there, Lauree?
There's hope. Absolutely. Yeah. If failure is not final.
Yep.
It is not. And so some of your best days are ahead.
Yeah.
We laugh because, Jamie even says, he's like, people are like, how do you get along so well? Well, we don't have to go home with each other at the end of the night.
Right.
We don't have to, the same things that, people fight about, we don't have to, we can let some things go.
Right.
You know what I mean? In a perfect world, it wouldn't have happened, but you can't change it.
Right.
So you have to roll with it. You know what I mean? So, it takes a lot of courage too.
Yeah.
I would say healing through this takes a lot of courage. And what I would love to see is more people being less concerned about the gossip, if you know somebody that's going through this, or a family, or your kids have kids that are, their parents are going through it, maybe take a pause on the judgment. That's not your spot. Maybe sit back and think, how can I at least be a little bit of a blessing? A lot of those kids, they're hurt.
Right.
They are hurt.
Right.
So, maybe don't shy away from it. Maybe lean into it. It's like, if you can't get out of it, get into it.
Yeah.
So try
See
to
where you
be a
can
blessing.
a helping hand,
absolutely.
even,
Yeah, because people need it. We all need it.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether it's divorce or anything else, we all need some encouragement.
Yep.
So
That's good.
That's what I would hope for.
Very good.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited for all the ears that are hearing, because you know what? There's hope. There's healing. There's, grace.
There's life on the other side of pain.
For sure.
There really is.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
True. So true.
Oftentimes it's more fulfilling, which is interesting, because people say, I actually heard something, I don't know, it was a few months ago. If you could relive one day in your life, what would it be? And most people that answer that question try to relive the day where maybe they made a big mistake.
Right. Right.
And I understand that feeling, but I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Because my family, I honestly believe my family is better off from this rocky road that we have had to sometimes just crawl on. And it's true. Our social media looks awesome. I mean, my social media looks amazing, but I'm not going to post all those days that were just awful.
Right.
The crying, the loneliness. I'm going to say this. It's a sad thing, but I'm going to say it because I really think there could be a mom or a dad out there that would have this experience. In fact, I know that they have had people tell me. I remember when we got divorced, and it was the first weekend that the kids were going to not be with me. I was a stay-at-home mom. I actually still had been a stay-at-home mom for 20 years. That's another, record thing with our deal. I stayed home even after divorce. So shout out to Jamie.
Yep.
But Jamie came to get the kids, and they walked out the front door, and I shut that front door. And it was as though you could have just ripped my heart right out of my chest. I had never spent time away from the kids in a situation like where they just can't be at home.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying this because I know that people have experienced that. And I sat on the stairs and I just wept.
Yeah.
I cried till I almost fell asleep.
Yeah.
And through that moment, I thought, I'll never get through this. I will never rise from this. This is a disaster.
Yeah.
You get to the depths of it's the pit.
Right.
And now fast forward 10 years later, I'm happy. The kids are thriving. Jamie's happy, married. And that's not without its own set of problems, right? I joke, I say only the names change, right? You still fight, you still have struggle. But I say that to say that I felt that awful sense of shame, guilt, sadness, and sorrow. But the Lord was faithful. And 10 years later, I am living my best life, happy, joyous, and free, because I chose life.
Yeah.
I chose not to be stuck. And it wasn't easy. It's still not easy.
Right.
But it can happen. And you can do it.
Yeah.
Anybody that's listening can do that.
Yeah.
Amen.
So, yeah.
That's good.
If he did it for me, he'll do it for you.
There you
and
go.
that's the truth.
Amen.
There you go.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, we're so grateful for you, Lauree, your friendship and all that you do. And we know that the best is yet to come.
It is. I'm so thankful for you guys. Yes. It's an awesome journey. It really is.
Amen.
We're really blessed. So
thanks for coming on and telling your story.
Yes.
you.
Thank you for being bold.
We'll have to have you back because I know the stories that you enjoy are going to create are not done.
No, we're about to hit a trip here to the hot sunshine to celebrate our birthdays.
Yep.
All right.
While I stay home in the cold.
That's right.
It's okay.
Well, you were invited.
It's okay. I was invited, but I'm like, no, that wouldn't be as fun if I was there.
It is something when your wife wants to just, we're going on vacation. We are? Yeah, you can't come.
It's okay.
He's the best.
He
really
are.
is. He's like, what do you want for your 40th? I said, I just want the beach, the hot sun.
With Lauree.
And with Lauree, because we will wake up and run together.
No, you guys, I can't wait.
We will
eat all the guacamole, all of it.
Oh, and lay there and then work out again later.
I'm going to say one thing though. When we touch base back on this, I want to see what happens because are you done with hot tubs yet?
I still like a hot tub if it's cold.
That is some nasty stuff.
She hates a hot tub. Oh yeah, I did talk about that in the podcast. Remember?
A
while back.
She loves the hot tub. I tell you, we go on these vacations and she sits in these hot tubs and she get in. I'm like, I am not getting. She'll
put her toe in there and then she'll say, everybody's peeing in there. Get out.
No, we were somewhere. I don't remember it. And you go get drinks from the thing. She gets a
pina colada.
I'm like, go get me one. No alcohol. She comes back. They bring mine in this kitty cup with a lid. It looks like I was at Red Robin. So I'm sitting at this hot tub with all these adults, right? She's got
drinking
this.
Out of the kitty cup.
I got this little kitty cup with a red lid to straw. It's like one of those straws that make noises. That you can, I'm sitting there drinking my little kitty cocktail. And she's in the hot tub and I'm sitting there. I'm not getting in. And so then I lean over to her and I said, look around. She said, what? I said, look at all these fat, old, drunk men in this hot tub. She's like, yeah. I said, do you think they're getting out to pee? I've never seen her move so fast. She's out of that hot tub.
Let me clarify. I like a hot tub with nobody in it but me.
Okay.
Like if there's nobody in it. Well, after you said that, I was like, gosh, that's disgusting. I mean, I will still go in it if there's maybe me and another person, but I just
ruined the national hot tub business.
And I know.
I did.
It is gross. You're swimming in
They
urine.
were not. They had a hard time getting in that hot tub.
I know.
Do you know how hard it would be for them to get out?
I know.
And they're in there drinking. Gross. The waiters are bringing drinks over. No one's getting out. I'm like, girl.
How are they going to the bathroom?
I never saw you move so fast. Even running. I mean, you were like the road runner on water. You were just out.
Yeah.
So.
But I still like a hot tub, though, I will say. But you know what? The reason why I like a hot tub? Do you know?
No.
Not that I like to sit in people's urine. Especially,
I hope not.
It helps my lower back, my sciatic area. It really
get a
does.
Massage.
I do get that too, but when we're somewhere cold, I want to go in the hot tub.
Take a hot bath.
Yeah.
I know.
No good. All right, so we'll touch base to see if I can break your hot tub habit. I can't wait to go on vacation.
Now we're going in cold plunges and hot saunas.
I know.
I love the cold plunge.
I love it. I can't wait to go on vacation with you. I feel like a 4-year-old. I feel like I'm with my mom. She brings me these little drinks, these little kitty cups with swirly straws.
That's funny. Well, again, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Love you guys.
Thank you. Love you too.
I love you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for tuning into this episode, and I hope you were encouraged to really understand that it's like we say, it's not how you start. What matters is how you finish. And no matter what you've been through, no matter what you've gone through, even if you're not married, even if you've never been married or you are married, so many great nuggets dropped today. If you loved the episode, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share this with a friend or a family member. If you haven't followed Joy and I yet, you can find us at RealRaw&Uncut or Justin and Joy Ford, Real, Raw, and Uncut. This episode was brought to you by my friends over at Next Door Lending. Next Door Lending is our preferred lender. This is who we send our mortgages to, our clients to. They have they have over 600 5-star reviews and a perfect Better Business Bureau rating. If you are a buyer looking to get pre-approved and take advantage of the lower interest rates, call our friends over at Next Door Lending. If you are looking to refinance your home, call our friends over at Next Door Lending. And if you are a real estate agent looking for a great mortgage partner, call our friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. 2 things we always leave you with. Number 1, again, it's not how you start. What matters is how you finish. And number 2, with God, all things are possible. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.